Hi guys. So today's I hurt a little too much today and I need to try to get a shower in and get my house chores done and stuff. But I really wanted to talk about something. I've been doing a intensive amount of work studying on like how the thyroid affects the uterus and how the uterus affects the thyroid, um, finding specialists, going through research on what they specialize in, finding out that getting rid of cancerous nodules in the neck can be done through radio frequency and all this stuff. But I also watched a documentary today talking about some women that were claimed to have endometriosis, but a male doctor decided that he would rip their female parts out and put them through extensive amounts of surgeries, then to find out that they didn't have it. So this is something that brought back a memory for me. Um, and that was in 2000, I think 17 or 18. I had found out that I had had a cyst on my uterus. And my nurse practitioner doctor did some ultrasounds and I do believe some MRIs, and they proved that there was a cyst on there. But before I knew more about it, they had sent me to a specialist, and this was an older guy. I'd say 50s, 60s, somewhere in there. I already felt immediately uncomfortable when I first was in the room and he had walked in. The way that he had looked at me told me red flag. But I try to give my mind doubt, hey, give this guy a chance, he's not a threat. Um, and then right away he starts on about how I need a hysterectomy immediately because this mass is the size of a softball. And I thought to myself, well, I don't feel that sick. It was weird because he kept pushing for that hysterectomy. And I was like, I don't think so, sir. You know, and he'd said, well, that's why you have mental health issues because, you're allowing this thing to grow and you're allowing this issue to happen. I mean, there was just multiple red flags with this guy. And I decided that no matter what he said, no way in hell I was going to let him touch my body or anywhere near me because he just seemed so fixated on playing with me like some kind of guinea pig. So I made a second appointment with a female OBGYN with a good reputation, and I was shocked when I had spoken to her about how this guy had spoken to me. And she said, a softball? She's like, it's barely the size of a golf ball. And I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah, it's not that big. She's like, and it's not on the inside of your uterus, it's just hanging on the outside of your uterus. So that tells you the difference between women doctors who study on the female body and male doctors who are ignorant and looking for a paycheck, because I'm on 3 different insurances. I actually have the best insurance in the nation to cover my ailments, medical issues, and mental health issues. Be careful who you select to do surgeries and things to your body, because when you are out, you're no longer in control of your body and what's being done to you. Your hands are being put into someone else's hands. And it's very uncomfortable for people who have been through severe trauma. And it's almost like if you're disabled and you have great insurance, it's almost like some doctors don't give a crap who you are. You're a number, you're a paycheck, you're a job. And they don't care how you feel, how much pain you're in, and what you're going through. My recent doctor, I think, is finally getting that reality check a little bit because she's understanding that I am putting in an extensive amount of research to save myself, to keep myself from getting sick. And so, when she first met me, there was conflict because it just seemed like she said the same thing. Well, just get a hysterectomy. And it pissed me off because I'm like, are you even listening to what I'm stating to you? This is what's going on. This is how I'm feeling. This is what's happening. I was the one that said, my neck don't feel right. I have cysts in here. I feel sick and down there don't feel right. And I'm getting heavy periods and constipation and bleeding in my bowels and blah, 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 blah. And right away, it's specialist, specialist, specialist. And I'm like, I'm here to see you. Can you please just listen to me? And then it was, well, let's put you on this. Well, let's put you on that. You're not putting me on anything till I know exactly what's going on with my body. And now people are talking about how gabapentin is actually not very good for people that have like fibromyalgia and female issues. And then add in the factor that they're finding that these kind of medications can also cause slow progress to Alzheimer's and dementia. So, people are like, well, you don't care about your health and you're always sad all the time and you're always sick all the time. That may be. But I know who's best for me, and that is the people I choose to be in my life that know me day to day and myself. So there's this mental health and physical health battle of, yes, I have a severe mental health disorder due to severe childhood trauma, but I also have physical ailments, and sometimes they do go together. But sometimes you have to separate them and say, okay, these are the symptoms I'm having that have absolutely nothing to do with my mental health or my past. This is what my body's doing. I'm in a premenopausal phase. So my body and I'm getting gray, and I'm dealing with hot flashes and cold. I took a shower last night, and because of the amount of sweating and how I feel, it didn't take long for my hair to get gross again. And I don't care. I really don't. I'm going to come on here looking good sometimes, and sometimes I'm going to come on here looking like this because today's a hard day. The biometric pressure or barometric pressure, whatever you want to call it, has changed. The weather is icky. It's sticky out, and when that happens, my body goes, I don't like this. um but anyway, I wanted to talk about that there are doctors out there that are not okay. And that I wanted to bring awareness to that. And I've had a lot of males comment on my page, which is fine. I'm glad you want to support. But do not tell me that I'm making things worse by making a comment or talking about a theory. You're not a woman. You don't have a uterus. You don't know what the pain is like. You don't know what I'm going through. My husband even has more understanding than some of these people because he's seen the pain. He's seen what I go through. He's seen the tears and the struggle and the fight that I put up. A lot of people would just say, why don't you just give up? It's not worth it. Why do you keep breathing? Why don't you just, I've had people tell me to commit suicide. You don't do that to people, especially survivors of severe trauma. They already have gone through hell and back. Like me, I've had reconstructive surgeries to my private area. I've had surgeries done to other parts of my body so that way I can keep functioning. Okay? This isn't a joke. People that have gone through dissociative disorders are not lying. The problem is there's people that are online that are lying and making this out to be some fun mockery game, talking about alternative states, when in reality it's a dissociative disorder that causes altercations of the brain that can light up in one place and shut down in another, causing severe amnesic barriers. Now, if you study on DID and you know how it works, you know that you don't have multiple people in your head. However, it is very real to the people that have it because they disassociate. They become a former piece of their past, talking about trauma, holding that memory from the present, okay? I talk about this in great extensive detail because I've been at this for over 20 years. I've read over 300 books on it. I also have survival skills that are 138.9, tested by doctors. I've had brain scans. I've had assessments done. Multiple things. So keep that in mind, okay? Be compassionate, be understanding, and don't come on my page with negativity. So that's all I have today. Loves. Bye.